Hey, and welcome to Matt and Jess TV. I am Matt Roast.
And I'm Jessica Bun Bun.
This is our new edition of Big Brother 27 live feed spoilers. We are here on day 41.
Mhm.
This is the day after the OTEV Power of Veto competition.
Yep.
We have a ton to say in the aftermath of that. Like, what is Lauren going to do? What are the other house guests telling her she should do?
Yeah, is she actually going to use this? And I mean, I know there's a lot of conversation out there that Lauren has been very scared and playing very scared and conservative this season. And she has, but so have a lot of other people.
All right. Well, we will talk about that, but it is time, though, that we readdress the Katherine and Rylie situation in this update. Like, we've done this on a handful of occasions this season already, but it just really feels like over the past 24 hours, it's gotten even more uncomfortable to the point where I do think we need to have serious conversations about whether or not Rylie is going to be expelled from the game, because it's horribly uncomfortable to watch. And it's also really jarring and, to me, inappropriate that there is this huge divide between the discomfort that is here with this relationship, watching it on the feeds, versus the show, where they're trying to paint this as yet another romantic showmance.
It's very weird in this particular situation because we've all, through the feeds, watched this relationship. It is very uncomfortable. If this was like real life away from the show where Katherine could have support from her family and friends, I don't think she would ever actually be with him. But because this show is structured the way that it is, and she was feeling kind of isolated, she has gotten wrapped up in this, even though she originally was like, no, I don't want to be with him. No, I don't want to kiss you. Then to getting sort of browbeated into getting this kiss and getting into this relationship, to her then trying again to be like, I really need to slow this down. I'm not okay with it. Where Riley's just like, we're going to get married. If I don't have you, my whole life is over.
Yeah.
Like, it's getting so intense for him that it's putting her in a position that she's just really uncomfortable. Now, at this point, he's telling her who she's allowed to talk to, who she's allowed to talk game with. He's told her straight up, you are not allowed to talk to Kelly about game at all. Who are you to say who she's allowed to talk to? He's told her that she has to watch her tone when she's whispering. It's really, really bad. Like, in a way that me as a live feed viewer, I want to see somebody step in at this point, because it feels like really borderline, we'll use the word bad.
Yeah, and there are a lot of people now at this point, at least within the live feed fandom. I'm not going to speak for the casuals because we're obviously not casuals, but
Right.
among a lot of the live feeders, there is a lot of people vocalizing, okay, something needs to be done here. He needs to either get out of the game. There has to be some sort of serious conversation that's happening. I mean, we'll talk more about what I do think is a really delicate and complicated situation.
Yeah, because I mean, even her family has spoken up online that, you know, they've reached out to production to try to like protect her the best that they can, because they're obviously must be feeling quite helpless.
Yeah, it's a really hard situation because you're watching somebody who you obviously love and care about on the outside in a situation that is really difficult and damaging, to the point where you may not even recognize this person who is in your life because they're kind of being put into this box by somebody. It's really, really hard, really, really tricky. But before we go further into it, be sure to hit that subscribe button, because we will be here with more daily Big Brother 27 updates throughout the rest of the season. We have a lot to say about gameplay. Obviously, there's going to be delicate things. This is Big Brother. It is kind of a strange and at times uncomfortable slice of life.
Absolutely. It's a social experiment type game.
Yeah.
So you're definitely going to see people with their masks down. You're going to see
Yes.
them every day. You're going to see, you know, there's only so much that you can kind of hide from the live feeds. You are living in a house with people for a very long period of time. You know, we're
Yeah.
over 40 days in at this point. So we're seeing what we're seeing, but hit that subscribe button, stick with us. And if you want to talk to us further about Big Brother, head over to our Patreon. I'll leave a link for you below. We're having more conversations over there. Also, we're going to be covering The Amazing Race for
Yeah.
those of you who have been asking. Big Brother cast going on over there, and Survivor. Those are both starting up next month.
Yeah, we're really, really excited. Just like, by the way, we're really excited to be over 76,000 subscribers. Like, I know that
Crazy.
happened over. I did not expect that. So, like, we were
I
really
know.
hoping to
Thank
get to
you.
75, and then 76 just happened so fast. It's unbelievable.
You
Oh,
guys are amazing. Thank
I
you.
know, like, we're so grateful. But okay, there's no easy transition getting back into the Riley Catherine situation, just because it is really, really bad. And I think it's what's compounding all of this is that there are a lot of people in the house who like Riley. And I
Mhm.
think it's hard on the outside to sort of be like, how is this possible when we're seeing what we're seeing? The only answer I can come up with, we're seeing a lot of really uncomfortable Riley and Catherine stuff, but a lot of it happens when it's just Rylie and Katherine. Like a
That's
lot of the
right.
other players, like they're not around for a lot of the stuff that is said.
Yeah, the things that are happening to her are happening in private, as happens to a lot of people in these types of situations where one person is overpowering another person emotionally at this point. I mean, she's not allowed to talk to certain people, she's not allowed to whisper in a tone that he doesn't like. He's getting really angry about a lot of things. He's controlling what she says and who she's allowed to talk to. And once you're getting into that, it is getting into really dangerous territory, and especially in this type of environment. We are over 40 days now. They are living together. There is
Hmm.
nowhere for her to go. I understand that people on the outside, her family and friends, and everybody's very concerned about her, and they're kind of like, once we get her back, we'll be able to give her the support that she needs. But there is still many weeks left in this house. This can get worse and worse and worse, and really get into her mind and her mindset way deeper than it already is, in a way that maybe she's going to have a harder time getting out of it, even with the love and support of family. It's a
Yeah.
dangerous spot to be in.
Yeah, it is. And I know Big Brother does offer psychiatric help and things for
They
house
do.
guests who are in the game, but it is still really difficult because you're returning to the game. And the other part of this, the other big reality, is that I don't think Catherine or Riley are going anywhere in the near future. Like,
Right.
we have heard some people like Will like talk a little bit about maybe going after the showmance, but like they're not in the worst position in the house. So there is no clear end in sight to all of this.
Yeah, and I don't know what is going on with production, because while I like to think that maybe they're doing some sort of like wellness checks with her, be like, hey, are you actually okay?
Mhm.
We've even seen Ava kind of come in and be like,
Yeah.
outside of the game, like, are you okay? Are you okay, bro? Are you okay? And she's like, yeah, I'm okay. But is she okay? Like,
Yeah.
it's tough because the actual shows are trying to pretend like this is an okay, healthy relationship, and it's not.
No, and that's why I do think if something is going to be done, like production's going to have to get in front of this and actually present the reality of the situation for those who are watching. Like I know that Catherine has said what she has said in the diary rooms. I know that she's said some nice things to Riley over the course of the season. Like I'm not sitting here and acting like, oh, Catherine's never said anything nice, but like one of the big tells to me though is anytime Riley goes like really over the top and says things like, you're never going to get rid of me, or I'm going to marry you, or just like all of those sort of things, like her responses are almost always one word answers, or sometimes they're like or sometimes they're like I need to use the bathroom, or there's something to
Yeah.
kind of get herself out of that situation. Like she's, yeah, reciprocated kisses, and they've cuddled, and they've spent time together, like all of that, but there's just a lot of other situations where I'm just like, okay, I don't know her, so I don't want to speak for her behavior, but this does not look like she's enjoying this.
No, she's also said no. And she's also said this needs to slow down. And because production does love a showmance and they love to have
Yeah.
showmances on the show, I wonder if they are doing wellness checks. This is just my guess. If they're doing wellness
Yeah.
checks, but they're also trying to fan the flames, hoping that it is just a relationship, because they really love that, to be like, oh, if you're saying you're okay, then, like, how's it going? What's this? And
Yeah.
trying to like really pump it up so that they have content for the show. They've done this.
And that is why I unfortunately do think that unless like something very specific and pretty serious happens, that they're probably not going to boot Riley from the game. Or unless it's a situation where Catherine is just like, I am mentally unwell in this situation, I am feeling really threatened by this person. Can you do something? Like it's gonna take something like that. But then once again, this brings us to the ever frustrating part of Big Brother it's still a game. And Katherine
Yes.
speaking out about Rylie, if production then goes to Rylie, he's going to be like, well, did Katherine tell you this? Or did someone else tell you this? And then like her game gets actively taken down a notch. Like you mentioned Ava, and I know Ava's reads aren't always perfect, but I still love Ava as a person.
Mhm.
I think she's really interesting to watch. I just think Ava is somebody who I do feel like would confront Rylie. Like she has no problem speaking her mind. We saw that with Keanu, even if that was kind of ridiculous. But I just feel like even if she does that here, then all of a sudden Ava becomes Riley's target. And then like she has to navigate that situation.
I think if Ava is there in the situation, I do think she actually will say something. But I think because a lot of it is in private or it's, more subtle things in front of people, like
Yeah.
Ava is perceptive and she's obviously picked up on it enough to be like, outside of the game, you okay?
Yeah.
Like everything okay? Anything you need help with or anything like that? Like it's clear that things are not okay enough that Ava is speaking up privately to Katherine to be like, do you need help? Blink twice if you need help.
Yeah, I think that it's something that more people could pick up on
Yeah.
depending on how things go. It is just it's really hard for all the reasons that we've went in there, and I think a lot of people might also be like, okay, well then why how is Rachel not picking up on this, because she is someone who knows what this experience is like, and we've talked about this previously. I think it's because Rachel has such a successful showman. It's like one of the most successful in the history of reality television. I think she's kind of blinded to a certain part of this because she wants every showmance to be like hers, right? Because she loves love. She loves successful
She
relationships.
may also be using it as part of game to be like, hey, you guys can be the next us sort of thing. And look how successful we've been. In the end, I know there are a lot of people talking online about this, about whether or not he's going to get booted, whether production is going to step in. I say no. Like production has really only stepped in like very rare
Yeah.
situations. I mean, they didn't even step in with Aaron and everything that was going in on season 15. It was only afterwards that she got a little bit of a finger wag and is now like the most successful Big Brother YouTuber on the platform.
Yeah, it's just it's really, really frustrating. I would like to see him gone. I've made no secret of that. I just think that unfortunately it's just gonna happen via a standard eviction
Yeah.
unless something pretty specific ends up going down in the house. And for Catherine's sake, I want her to be okay. Like regardless of whatever we feel about her as a player or her as a person within the house, I don't think she deserves what she's going through, and I hope that she's able to get through it.
All right, let's talk about Lauren and that
Oh,
veto
right. All right.
because it's been really interesting to see online like the divide of people who are like, no, 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 she can't use it because if she does, she's really going to expose herself and her relationship with Vince. And for me, I'm just like on the other side where it's like, everybody knows that they're close. Like this isn't some sort of secret. They all live together. They see them hanging out, talking quite often. They're close. Like I don't think there's anybody in the house that's like would be like these two are close? No way that she would do this for him. No way. Like, I think once you're this deep into the game, if you allow your allies to go home, then you're just asking for it at that point to get sent out the door right afterwards. You need numbers. And right now, the numbers are really down the middle. You need Vince.
This is where I tried to listen to the arguments that were out there being like, okay, Lauren shouldn't use the power of veto. And it's like, as of right now, I don't think she will. It doesn't seem like she's closed the door on it completely, though. We'll
She
get
hasn't.
more into that. But I do end up siding with yeah, she should use the power of veto on
Yes.
Vince. And I think the biggest reason why, and I'm not going to be like Mickey and pour a bag of M&Ms all over the place and
Oh,
subject you
good
guys to
grief.
that, but it's just like, I looked at the numbers and I was like, okay, if this is Vince versus Mickey or Morgan at the end of the day, like what's going to happen here? And it's like, okay, Vince probably has the support of Keanu because Keanu will believe
Right.
him no matter what happens in the universe. He'll
Right.
probably have Rylie and Katherine. He'll probably have Lauren.
Yeah.
But then you sort of look at the other side of it and it's like, is he really going to have Ava, Will, Ashley, and then either Mickey or Morgan, whoever
Right.
survives the blockbuster? Like he might. I might not rule that out, but at the same time, we have seen Ava, Will, and Ashley at times have frustrating defenses for Mickey in particular. And it's just like, do you want to rely on those numbers? And this is where we get to the swing vote potentially being Kelly, who was fine sending Vince out and keeping Keanu last week.
Right. So, I mean, that definitely could still be something going into this week. If Lauren is worried that if she doesn't use this veto and Vince goes home, that she's just going to be like in the wind, and she's correct. She
Yes.
needs to have Vince there. Letting him go is a huge mistake. And she's just like, oh my God, I don't want to be in a situation where I don't use it on him. And
Yeah.
then he goes home, and then I'm like, oh my God, I messed it all up.
Yes. Like, I think he will probably be safe if he stays on the block. I will say probably, but this is not 100%. I wouldn't even say it's 90%. Like, I
No.
think there is a good chance he will be, but this is Big Brother. We all saw how many times the votes went all over the place last week. I don't think you can rely on people on a season that has been defined by people being unreliable. Like,
Right.
the real irony in all of this is Lauren expressing all of her fears about how she's going to feel ridiculous or how she'd die if he goes home. It's like, she explained this to Katherine in one of the conversations that Rylie was upset that she had and not having him involved in it, where it's like, I appreciate at the very least that Katherine tried to go and have conversations with other people yesterday, whether it was a Lauren, whether it was a Kelly who she's not supposed to talk game with. I know it's just like, okay, we have at least a little bit of perspective from where Lauren is in all of this now.
Yeah, because she is having these conversations, and thank goodness she is, or we wouldn't know what is going on.
Like, Lauren is admittedly really, really frustrating as a player because she is constantly afraid and constantly wishy-washy about things. And like, Vince has spoken about her, about the veto with her, and all of this was really funny, by the way, because Keanu, we have a lot to say about Keanu in this video, but Keanu talked to Vince. He's like, I got a script for you. I've got a way that you can talk to her. It's going to make it all good. You just have to follow my instructions. Vince did not follow his instructions.
No, but I mean, Vince, at least, I mean, he's known for a while that he does have Keanu in his pocket.
Yeah, he does. He listened to Keanu rattle up his nonsense, and then he went to Lauren and was just like, you should use the veto on me. Like, you're not going to be that much more of a target than you already are.
Correct.
You have to go ahead and go through with it. Like, she told him that she would let him know at some point. Well, they had this conversation last night. So at some point today, he's going to kind of figure out what's going on. Like, he also made it clear to her, he was just like, okay, you know what? If I'm HOH coming up, I will nominate Rachel. I'll nominate Ashley. I'll put up Ava. And, and I think these are things he probably would do, but I think they're also things that Lauren would want to hear, like dating back to Lauren's HOH reign when Rachel was pretty, well, at least Lauren felt like Rachel was pretty condescending towards her. Like, she wants Rachel out. Like, what better way is there to try to win that and just win this argument with Lauren and get this veto used?
Absolutely. And then there's two chances because they're both in the game. Just use the veto, get Vince off the block, and now you have two chances to get those same nominations up. And I think that Vince will at least get some of the people up that Lauren wants. They are working together very closely.
Yeah, they are. And the problem right now with Lauren is just that she's being told by a lot of other people not to use the veto. Like, Katherine has told her this. We know Rachel doesn't want the veto used. Like, the irony that kind of gets mixed into all of this at the same time is that we've already heard multiple pitches from Ashley and others. Vince and Morgan have talked about this, that maybe they're going to get Keanu backdoored. I don't even know. I don't even know if backdoored is the right terminology when the blockbuster is in play, but that's neither here nor there. But it's like, there's all this talk about it, and it's like, okay, yeah, maybe you can make an argument. You can make this big sell that's like, okay, we can convince Lauren to use the veto, but then Rachel's not going to put up Keanu. And then it's okay, where is all of this going to go then?
It's so weird that the house, I know that the house is like put him up every single week, but like, it seems very clear from just watching the feeds, and these people are in the house, that Rachel is working with him to some degree. She is never going to put him up. So like, if you're trying to get somebody else up there, this is not the person.
They kind kind of treat Keanu like, and I say this as somebody who does this a lot at the grocery store. You see like the manager's special beef that's like 50% off, and they think
And
it's
then
about
you call me and you're like, go to Sprouts right
Yes,
away.
I think I do this all the time. It's like I love the discount beef
Me
because it's like,
too.
I can freeze it, I can
Yep.
make something for dinner. But there's a lot of people who thumb their noses at this because like, it's bad. It's just they all treat Keanu like he's discount beef, and it's just like where
Oh, no.
they act like he's not useful to them. They can just get rid of him at any given point. Whereas
No.
people like us, and I think to some extent, people like Rachel, like I think
Mhm.
Rachel fittingly has some reservations where she's just sort of like, you know what? I can still use this beef, especially since like there's no other beef in the store for me because none of the other beef wants to work with me.
Right.
So I think that's just kind of the dynamic of things right now is I think a lot of these other people actually feel like we're better allies for you than Keanu. It's not really a big deal you put up Keanu, and it's just like, yeah, Keanu is far from perfect. We will talk about this, but at the same time, he's not going after Rachel. I don't think he's going to go after Rachel anytime soon.
No, he's not going after Rachel. This is just such bad gameplay in a season of bad gameplay. Like, if you are really trying to fight to get somebody else off the block,
Yeah.
he is not the cell. Like, almost anybody else is the cell.
Yeah, and as of right now, Rachel, like, she didn't make it clear to anyone really who she was going to put up in the first place, so it's not really a shock that she hasn't really made it clear who's going to be the renom. I think also, unless she knows explicitly the veto is being used, like, why talk about that? Because it's like,
Yeah.
it'll come back to that person, and then they'll be like, I was going to be the renom?
Of course, you don't need to say anything like that unless you think the veto's being used, and she must feel pretty confident that Lauren is just too afraid to use it.
Yeah, and I think that's where she's coming from. I mean, it's a hard spot for Rachel to even be in with some of this because it's like you look around the house at this point. Like Rachel said that she's not going to put up Ashley, even though Ashley has given her plenty of reasons to be put
Right.
on the block this week with all of
Yes.
her messiness or trashing Rachel's nominations. But she's not going to put up Rylie or Katherine as much as we would like that to happen because she's already been pro showmance. And if you put up one of them, like you put up Katherine, Riley's going to lose his mind. And then Riley's going to be coming at you until the end of days. You could put up Kelly, and I thought at first that would be a bad idea, but as it turns out, Kelly, I'm extremely disappointed in you.
Shocking.
Kelly has already thrown under the bus the other people the idea of working with Keanu and Rachel. Like she's already been like, oh, this alliance has been created. Rachel came up with it, and I'm just sitting here being unbelievably mad about this.
It's always tough when you've got seasons where you have the underdogs and there's always like one or two underdogs that think that if they can sell out the other underdogs that the cool kids are going to take them for the ride, and they always just take your lunch money and kick you out the house.
Yeah, it's just so unbelievably true. And it's just like Kelly wants to be one of the cool kids so bad, and it's like we all want to root for the underdogs, but this is the ultimate Faute dilemma. It's like, what do you do when the underdogs all kind of stink at Big Brother? Like Rachel is the only underdog that I think we can sit here and say is actually a good Big Brother player.
Right.
And that brings us to Keanu. Okay, that's Keanu, we love you, but man, you're not on the block. You're not in danger of going on the block. What in the world are you doing?
I know. Where's your 2 hours of good gameplay, kid?
He is not clocked in yet today or this week. Okay, so Rachel had this talk with Keanu earlier today, and she has tried to open his eyes to the idea that's like, Rylie doesn't want to work with you, bro. Rylie is throwing you under the bus. And Keanu has tried to claim that, like, Rylie alongside Rachel is one of his most trusted people, that like the two of them are really, really close. Like Rachel has said this to him as plainly as possible. And you know what Keanu's response is? I still trust him. It's just like he doesn't listen to Rachel at all. It just goes completely in one ear, just straight out the other.
What's kind of interesting with Rylie and Vince as well, because Keanu is so dedicated to them, I am actually surprised that neither of them have really tried to just bring him in, because while he is taking all of Rachel's information and bringing it to them, he's not really doing the same with Vince and Rylie. That information isn't necessarily going straight back to Rachel.
It's just one of these situations. Keanu's biggest flaw, and this is probably why Keanu will not win the game. I just want the man on jury at this point. Oh my God, I sound like Mickey and Morgan. But okay, no.
No, he needs to win the game.
Okay, I want him to win, but it's like the biggest flaw in his armor is just constantly that he trusts the men more than the women. And in
Yes.
particular, he doesn't trust what Rachel is telling him enough. To the point, this is really what I want. Rachel, if I could communicate, if you throw me in Pandora's box and I come out in the house, I'm going to tell you, lock Keanu in your bathroom. We kind of saw this with Will earlier this season when Ava was HOH. Just lock him in there. Bring Vince or bring Rylie in there so Keanu can actually hear it with his own ears. I mean, the problem is this happens and he's probably going to be like, it's AI, bro. I don't believe it.
Yeah, or he's just going to be like, you led them into saying that. Of course, they are going to think they have to say that. That's not how they really feel. Nothing will matter.
Yeah, Keanu, this is how delusional Keanu is. Keanu seems to believe that right now he's Riley's number one and Katherine is not Riley's number one. He's just like, maybe later in the game, Katherine will be right. We just did 12 minutes of this video about Rylie controlling Katherine Keanu. I know you can't watch, but still.
Yeah, he wants to marry her if that's really how he feels. He does not want to marry you.
Yeah, and then after all this talk, Keanu then goes to Rylie. And okay, I will give you 1 point, Keanu, and this is on a 1 to 100 point scale, so you're not getting any more than 1. You don't mention Rachel's name, but you're like, I just want you to know, man, even if other people are telling me I shouldn't trust you, I still do. You have nothing to worry about with me. Now, if I'm Rylie, I'm probably like, I wonder where this is coming from.
Yeah, no kidding.
And it's just like, Keanu, okay, he's done all of this. And then he's done this other thing, which I really don't understand at all. And he started this last night where he's going to Ashley and just fishing for information, acting like he wants Mickey to stay on the block this week and sort of cementing where Ashley stands. And for a second, I was about to praise him for this. And I was about to be like, Keanu, you successfully told a lie. I think Ashley believed you. This might be a first for you this entire season. Then he went back to her today and he was just sort of like, I want Rylie out. Rylie is a huge threat if he wins the game. I don't think Ashley believed this for a second. I'm just also sitting here being like, Keanu, why are you doing this? Why are you saying anything? Go to bed. Just go to the gym. Work out.
Yeah, I know you probably don't want people to think you guys are as close as you are, but you definitely don't want to be out saying something like this. Like, it doesn't make any sense. You're not in any trouble. Riley's not in any trouble with going home. Like, just leave it alone. You're doing too much.
Yeah, and I think this is why Rachel is in this point where she feels like she's Keanu's babysitter a lot of the time, where it's just like she has to like walk Keanu around, teach him who to talk to, teach him who not to talk to. And yeah, Keanu's a grown man, but he is a very stubborn grown man who does not listen and thinks that he knows what's going on because this isn't Big Brother 13 or Big Brother 12. This is a totally different game. And it's like, you're kind of right, but you're also kind of not.
My real worry is that if we see a Keanu HOH is that he is actually going to end up putting up Rachel, that the guys will all get into his head and he will just be like, you know what, this is what the house wants and I want the house to like me, because it does feel a lot like there is a lot of that with like Kelly, Keanu. A lot of the underdogs are going to the cool kids and, you know, ratting out their own alliances or people that actually want to help them.
Yeah, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I'm not worried about that because I am. He just seems to be so influenced by a lot of the dudes. But okay, let's move from one delusional person over here to another because good news, Keanu, you're not alone. You have Morgan in your corner this weekend as well, where Morgan has been a big pusher of the idea that, okay, let's get the veto used on you, Vince, which for starters, why are you not pushing to get it used on yourself?
Weird.
Also, why are you pushing on Keanu and being nominated? Not going to happen. Round 2. Morgan, you think that you've been able to convince Katherine, who's then going to convince Lauren to use her veto. It's like Katherine has already told Lauren not to use the veto.
Yeah, I don't know. Morgan, I don't know what she's doing. Like, if you're on the block, like, obviously she must think that she's safe, but Zach just thought that he was safe and he went home. You know, he had the power in his pocket.
Like, I'm really not sure what's going to happen to Morgan this week. Because, like, if it's Mickey or Morgan, I think Mickey's obviously the much bigger target. But she's also had people that she's kind of emotionally controlled.
Yes.
And I think Morgan is not as good a player. She talks about her comp ability. She hasn't won a single competition.
Nope.
Like, I don't really know where she's going to land in anything.
Yeah.
And okay, let's now get a little bit more into Rachel because Rachel and Ashley in particular, because Rachel's not going to put up Ashley. But at the same time, Rachel is starting to wake up more and more to the idea that it's like, maybe I can work with Ashley, but I have some real reservations with it. Just like including the fact that the times that I'm talking to Ashley, it feels more and more like Ashley's asking these direct questions. I mean, maybe this is just because she's a lawyer and she's used to it. I don't know. But Rachel feels like Mickey and Morgan are just kind of coaching her on what to say at this point.
Yeah, it's so weird watching this show from the outside because we obviously know what's going on with Ashley and Mickey and Morgan, and Rachel is pretty perceptive with that stuff. So to see her in this spot where she's in the house with it, and it's a lot harder sometimes to see that, but you do see them every day together, that you're not seeing that Ashley is not really with you anymore.
Yeah.
And while you think maybe you can get her back, you can't get her back with the way things are in the house right now. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, you can work with her maybe next week to really work on that if Mickey's out of the house.
Yeah, you're relying on a lot of variables here. And this is why, once again, Rachel's stuck in a position where Keanu is her best ally, and he's not even that good just because
No.
Ashley's playing all these sides. Kelly's, throwing her under the bus in certain situations. But like this,
Rachel's just done. And I really hate saying this, but unless she wins her way to the end, she doesn't have like one person who's really aligned with her. Because even Keanu, who she's really working with and trying to like mentor and work with,
yeah,
he's really aligned with Vince. He's really aligned with Rylie. She truly doesn't have anybody.
no. And I just think a lot of the rest of the day, it would not shock me if it's just like one pitch after another to Rachel about backdooring Keanu. Like, we've already gotten to the point where people are just saying ridiculous things, getting it to happen. Like, Ashley's already claiming she will carry Rachel through the house. I just have this picture in my head of, in sort of ancient times, you have people being carried on the chairs around.
Yeah, like they're offering up these really weird things, like we're gonna carry you around like you're a champion for getting out. Can you? Like,
Yeah.
it's like, how is that any kind of move?
No.
Everybody just wants to use him as a pawn or kick him out. This is not a big move. This doesn't make her a queen.
No.
This makes her an idiot for sending out the only person that's kind
Yeah,
of working with her.
Rachel doesn't need to be carried around, and Morgan, Rachel
No.
also does not need to see you streak, which you have
No,
threatened to
thank
do.
you.
No, we're all good.
No, thank
Okay,
you.
a couple last things here, starting with just the idea of here's how good. Okay, I know Vince may still go, but this is how ridiculous people are with Vince. Mickey is even telling Vince information now that other people are telling her, including that, like, Ashley thinks, by the way, that you, Vince, and Rylie, that you guys may be working together. It's like, Mickey's on the block. Why are you telling Vince anything?
Yeah, I kind of wonder, just my tinfoil hat, if she's
Yeah.
trying to rile him up because he's really good at keeping as calm as he can through it. Like, I'm not saying he hasn't been emotional or had emotional moments or felt, crappy about things or whatever, but he hasn't like exploded or, been spun out like a top in a way that other people have. And I think that that has definitely helped him not go home. Even Ava had said that, oh man, I really appreciate
Yeah.
how you dealt with being on the block. Zach didn't deal with it very well, and now he's gone. And that there are people that appreciate that he is fairly calm with that stuff. So I just wonder if she's trying to push buttons to get him to freak out, and it just didn't work.
Good luck. That is my advice for you, Mickey. It's sort of like with Rachel. Good luck getting Keanu on the block. I think these two are pretty committed to the way that they are in the house.
Yeah.
Finally, Kelly has apologized for the most egregious thing of all time, telling Mickey, welcome to the party after she was nominated.
Good grief,
It's
man.
just like Kelly was even like, I said the same thing to Vince. This is not that serious. I don't want to sit here and tell Big Brother players they need to play like Kelly, but it's just like she at least has a good philosophy when it comes to being a somewhat good sport.
Yeah, it's just being a good sport about it. I mean, it's fine. I understand that this is for a lot of money, and
Yeah.
yeah, you're feeling crappy that you might have a chance that you're not going to get to that money. But Mickey, you're not going to get to that money anyways. Even if you're at the end, your jury management is so bad.
The best thing Vince has going for him this week, other than Lauren's possible veto play, is just that Mickey has not been nice to Kelly. And it's just like,
No.
Kelly, may not fully trust Vince, but I think that she would keep Vince under these circumstances.
I think so. It's hard to know. It's early. It's Sunday.
I know. But with that, we are at the end of our edition of Big Brother 27 live feed spoilers for today. What do you guys think Lauren is going to do? Do you guys think production's going to do anything about Katherine and Rylie? Let us know. And of course, hit that subscribe button for more Big Brother 27 updates, and you can support us further by joining our Patreon. That link is in the description. Thank you so much for your support, and we'll see you here next time.